Welcome to another episode of Fans with Mics. Today we are here at Equinox, and with me are Manchester United fans. We've just been watching halftime, Chelsea against Manchester United. Chelsea is in the 5th position, struggling to get into the top 4. And while Manchester United has been having the worst season of its seasons, and it's in the 15th or 16th position.
Yes.
I will be clarifying with one of them right now. Derek is on my right, and of course Sam is also a Manchester United fan on my left. I'll be starting with Derek.
Yeah.
How did you see the first half?
The first half was very surprising because people expected Chelsea to bring the game to Manchester United. It has been the reverse. Being a die-hard Manchester United fan, I am not surprised because people have summarized the Manchester United season basing on very different circumstances. Playing Europa is not as easy as playing Champions League or playing Conference League. Why do I say that? Because you have a task of playing a hard team on a Thursday and you rest on Friday before playing a difficult game on Sunday after your rivals have played. I think that has played a very big part in the poor performance of Manchester United. But the Amorim system, given a chance, you can see what it can do. We have only lost to, I think, one in the top 6. So you can see that the fruits are there for us to reap. The first half is a testament. Chelsea has struggled to break us down. They have struggled to create. They have struggled for 50-50s. They are even struggling to have throw-ins. That means we are controlling the tempo. We are bringing the game to them. And I am very confident come second half, it's going to be either 2-0 or 2-1 to Manchester United. It would be very good for us to get one over Chelsea after getting one over them last season, knocking them out of the Europa to the Conference League. We would be very happy to knock them out of the Champions League to the Europa once again. So I believe it is karma.
Okay, we've just watched one of your top strikers, Harry Maguire. Of course, he was ruled out for an offside. How do you rate him this evening?
For me, I think it came as a surprise. I think credit to Amorim because he's trying to improve the team a little bit. When you look at United today, you kind of see that the midfield is a little bit better, despite the fact that we're conceding a couple of goals. But that attributes to a lot of things. How do you cover up after losing a ball? Not so many players have actually done that really well, which is something I think he has mentioned over time in so many press conferences. So going into the second half, I don't expect much. I kind of think this is more like a training session for the next game, which is the most important game for our season. So I don't expect much in this game, but I'm also happy with what we've already seen because we've controlled the game really well. When you look at last season, most of the goals we conceded, people are just running through the midfield and it was always counter-attack after another. Right now, United is one of the teams that are hard to break. Even the margins that we lose, it's a difference of 1 or 2. In rare cases where we lost a few games with a bigger margin, but when you look at the teams even that have created the most chances this season, United is still up there. So we still have problems, but I think this was the same transition Arteta had because despite that, the difference is that Arteta, they scored more goals, but they conceded quite a lot, which is why they went out to get a keeper, which I think has been outstanding for Arsenal. I think without that keeper, Arsenal wouldn't be where they are today. So on to the second half, I don't expect much, but I expect...
How do you see it ending?
Maybe a draw, but I don't see Chelsea winning it because they've not really used their chances quite well. They've had really some good opportunities, but it's still lacking. They still have the same problems you have.
Any changes do you anticipate in the second half?
I see he's going to rest Bruno, given that he's gotten a yellow card and he's more of a talkative on the pitch. He will rest him for Ugarte, and then we'll also have to rest Ahmad and Casemiro.
Okay, your final prediction for the second half?
I still maintain it's going to be a 2-goal cushion, regardless of the scoreline. I believe it could be 2-0, it could be 4-2. But with the way the boys are playing, I believe they are more free. They are not under pressure. So I predict a 2-goal cushion. For the substitutions, I see him more giving chance to the young lads, but given his system, he looks more at the defensive players. So he mainly goes for the wing backs and also the center halves. But it would be good for him to give the young lads at the front a run in. The strikers, the wingers, we have a lot of diamonds that are not yet discovered that we should give a chance to run out in the game, given that it has no pressure.
Okay, that is the halftime analysis. We shall be coming back at the end of the game to see whether Manchester United can break Chelsea, who want to go into the top 3 or top 4. Of course, they'll be also playing the conference finals. Manchester United is getting ready for the Europa finals, which could push them to the Champions League. As they have explained, indeed, it's a game that will determine a lot next week. However, as we are speaking right now, Chelsea is in a better position because it's at home and probably it will pull off the game. But the Manchester United fans believe they will pull it off. Let's wait and see at the end of the game. Fans with mics, halftime. Manchester United. Welcome from that entertaining game at the Stamford Bridge. Manchester United has lost once again. Those are 18 games down the road this season. And of course, they have lost to number 5. Right now is number 4, Chelsea. They have managed to win that game. The tactical difference, of course, made the biggest difference in this game. I'll start with Sam. Tell me the tactical differences that Enzo Maresca made in the second half that made you lose this game.
Well, like I said at halftime, I didn't expect much from the team because when you look at United today, they didn't seem like a team that wanted to win the game. This felt like a training session in preparation for the game next week. So Chelsea pressed high in the second half. You could see that because we didn't have any balls played through Chelsea's half. That you could barely count the number of times we had chances in the second half. So I think technically Chelsea was better going forward, and the issues we've had this season were a bit the same in this game, because when you look at Højlund, he's not a guy you would rely on to press, not maybe to chase balls or press high. He's not a United kind of player. So those are some of the challenges we have. And it was pretty evident, like I said, in halftime. So it wasn't any different. And the guys that needed to rest still rested. Bruno and all that, and it's all in preparation for next week.
Thank you. I'm joined by Frank. Frank is someone who is always here with us and will always be here with us. Frank, you watched the game. 90 minutes. At halftime, I didn't see you. I think you're still enjoying your game. Now, there are some tactical changes probably that would have led to the lackluster performance by Manchester United in the second half. Could you point out some of the issues that led to the loss by Manchester United in the second half?
Well, I want to disagree with Sam, right? I don't think it's really so much of a training. Well, it could have been, but Manchester has been poor, honestly. Let's call it that. When you look at the last 10 games, they have had 2 wins in the last 10 games. So I didn't expect much from them, but I was, for the pride of it, a little bit, I was happy that Manchester United didn't go all out, because they're not chasing anything in the league, So you keep those players safe, make sure you avoid injuries. So on that front, I can say maybe the coach knew what he was doing. But generally, it was going to be, for me, it was not a very entertaining game. Chelsea, well, they were running for top 4. They lost it last week, with the silly red card. Sorry for that, but they came back, won the game. They've not had actually very good chances against United. When you look at, again, even for them, in the last 10 games against United, they have 1 win. So today it felt like they needed it more because they needed to get into the top four, fight for those Champions League places because United has a big chance against Tottenham. Both of them, being an Arsenal fan, I wish it rains heavily that day and they both lose. But for some reason, I fancy United to edge Tottenham on that day. So, well, if it was a training session, I think United is lucky that they have not gotten any injuries. They've rested a few players. So, yeah.
We are heading into the finals of the Europa League. It's going to decide a lot because Tottenham also lost, on the other hand, to a very, very good Aston Villa side, which is also struggling to ensure that they finish among the top five because the Premier League this season has 5 places for the Champions League. The 6th position is going to go to the Europa League. And of course, the mathematics even gets complicated. Who will finish in the 6th position to go into the Europa League? If Chelsea wins the conference, it is also a member. I think it should also be going to the Europa. If it doesn't win the conference, probably it will be left out. But that debate, leaving it aside, how do we see Manchester United against a Tottenham side, which has also not performed well? It has lost 21 games this season. Manchester United is not better off because Chelsea is sitting right now in the 17th position. Tottenham is sitting in the 17th position. Manchester is sitting in the 16th position. How do you see this game?
Well, it's really going to be an interesting game. When you look at both teams, their performance in Europe has been a little bit different. So I expect to see something better than we've seen today. I think both teams really gave up on the Premier League months back. At least they knew there's not so much to achieve this year. So it all comes down to this one game. So it's really going to be... We know Tottenham is a bit physical, and they are really good at that. When they start pressing, they can literally keep you in your half for the entire game. So how Amorim is going to approach that is going to be a little bit interesting. So why I said earlier that this felt like a training session was because I felt like he needed to test out a little bit of this and that, try to pair up defenses, midfield. You've seen everyone has had a chance to play at least apart from the strikers. So it's really gonna be a good one, I should say.
Who do you fancy to start for United in the front part of it?
Unfortunately, it's still gonna be Hoyland. I say unfortunately because he hasn't impressed me personally. He hasn't. Probably given his own reasons that I'm not aware of, but he has had all the chance. At least when you look at all the players in the team, I think he has had the biggest opportunity to try to improve, and he hasn't done that. So he will still start. I'm pretty sure. I don't see Obi starting over him because it is a little bit young, and when you go into such games, you need a little bit of experience in the game. So that's why I see him start. The back line is still gonna be the same. I don't see Heaven starting. I think Maguire will still start with Dogu and Mazraoui as a back three. Then you'll see Casemiro and Ugarte in the midfield, Bruno, Garnacho, Ahmad, and then Hoyland up front with Onana.
Okay, today, Frank, when you watch, I know you didn't follow so closely the Tottenham game, but in the first half, Tottenham seemed to be very defensive. Do we see Ange bring this same tactic to the Manchester United game next week? Because given the fact that, probably Manchester United will be attacking more, it has been a better side compared to Tottenham, and of course the beef that Arsenal has over Tottenham Hotspurs. Do you see Ange Postecoglou having to, bring a defensive game to ensure that Manchester United doesn't pull it off? Because everyone needs to go to the Champions League.
No, I don't think so. Actually, Tottenham has very, very talented attacking footballers, so I don't expect them to be defensive. I mean, what's there to fear? Manchester United has not really been very lethal in front of goal as well. So I see two teams that want it, so you cannot want such a game that big and then, you want to be defensive. I mean, when you look at the players in the Tottenham team, they have the ability actually to hurt a Manchester United team. Same way. I think I don't know. I'm like you said. I've always fancied Hoyland to be a very good player, a good finisher of the ball. If you saw him, he's always been a good lad. But I don't know. I think the whole team has been poor.
Is it the system?
Man, it's with Manchester United as a football fan, not as an Arsenal fan. As a football fan, you wonder what has happened in United. I think they spent top dollar this season, same as last season and the season before. They've outspent a lot of teams apart from Chelsea. When you talk about the system, I mean, how many coaches has Manchester United had since Ferguson? 9 coaches. Do you say that it's the same system? They've tried out all systems. When you hear the former players speak, they will tell you there's bigger problems in the club. But well, for us, we are just fans. We don't get to see what's up. But for us, again, moving to to that game next week, I think. I fancy United. Honestly, I don't like both teams. Like as an Arsenal fan,
Well,
as a football fan, I think United might edge the game.
Okay, apart from that, because back to the Premier League, apart from one team that is safe, Liverpool, to be open, is the only safe team right now as we speak. The rest of the next 6 teams are struggling to be in the top 4. I just want to start with you, Frank.
Yeah.
Who do you see finishing in the next top 4? By position, who is going to be in the second position? Who do you see the second position? Who do you see in the third position? And who's going to close the 5 positions for the Champions League this season?
Interestingly, I don't see so many changes. Arsenal has a very, very tough game against Newcastle. I think in the last 4 games, we've lost 3 times against a very good Newcastle side, very solid. But I don't see them eclipsing us in the second position. So Arsenal is going to retain second. Probably Newcastle might come third. I think they're strong enough to finish that way. Man City might eclipse Chelsea and Aston Villa anyway. So I see Aston Villa finishing outside the top 5. In a way, I don't know. I don't know which game they have, their final game of the season, but maybe. But either Aston Villa or Chelsea, one of them might miss out on top 5.
Sam, your top 5 for the Premier League, apart from, of course, Liverpool, which is already the champion. We have Arsenal struggling. We have Newcastle that they're going to face in the next encounter. We have, of course, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Aston Villa.
Well, when you look at the table as is right now, I think all the teams in the top 5 will go through. They will all be in the top 5 at the end of the season. However, when you talk about position, it really this weekend will play a huge role in how this is gonna end. And the most interesting game going into the weekend, which is gonna be the toughest, is Newcastle against Arsenal. I see Newcastle winning that game, in all honesty, because when you look at the games they've played, when you look at the last 3 games, they've pulled off wins that have even amused themselves. So they come into this game, they have nothing. They're playing for it all. You get it. So it's going to be more like the same final we watched against Liverpool. When you look at how they played against Liverpool, I think they know this is their only opportunity to get into the Champions League, and it would really mean a lot for them, given the fact that Isak wants to leave because he wants to play Champions League. So I think this is their opportunity to try keep him and himself as well to get into Champions League. I'm not downsizing Arsenal. They will put on a really, really good game, but. Yeah, but where I feel they will struggle the most is scoring goals, because they've had really, really challenges with that, with all their strikers out and all that. And given the defensive side, how the defensive Newcastle gets, they really have a good defense. When you look at the guys at the back, they're not the easiest to score against.
Your third position?
So third position, I'll give it to Man City.
And fourth?
Fourth will go to Newcastle and Aston Villa.
And Arsenal is getting out of the top 5?
No, Arsenal will come in. Oh, okay. So Liverpool first. You have, I see Newcastle. If Newcastle wins this game, they will remain second position because their last game is at home.
And you have Arsenal in the third.
Arsenal third, City coming in on fourth, and Villa.
So
and
Chelsea's out. Well, now there's one final question that I have for you guys, and it's about the big transfers that are going to come in. Everyone is talking, and they're all talking big, by the way. Of course, the biggest news is coming in from the Arsenal camp. Zubimendi is an assured deal, but we also want to hear what top names do you think will be coming in the new season in the summer?
Arsenal worries me a lot when it comes to transfers. I'm never confident until I see the guy in the shirt. Zubimendi himself, I'm not yet sure until I see the guy's shirt number. So, of course, Arsenal know very well we need a very, very good striker. That has been our Achilles heel for the longest time, you know. If we get in a striker, a defensive midfielder, but I feel our attacking options in terms of creative midfielder are also lacking. Odegaard has fallen short so many times. You know, he's had his brilliant moments, but he has fallen short in the times when we've needed him most. So for me, get us a striker, get us maybe a winger to support Saka and Martinelli. I mean, you see, actually what's killing Arsenal is the same thing that killed Arsenal last season, tired legs. We talked about this the last time. So we need a lot of those reinforcements. You know, at the back we are solid. Yeah, so get us a striker, get us maybe a winger and a central midfielder. We'll be good.
Any names, or you're sticking with the names you gave us last time?
I'm sticking with the same names because when you go back again and read, of course, these are all speculations, but I don't see any other striker that Arsenal will look for, apart from Victor Gocheres. Who is that? Isaac. I don't see the chance to sign that one. And then Benjamin Sesko. Yeah. So those are one of those two, Sesko and Gocheres, will end up at Arsenal. Rodrigo, I don't see that.
William?
I've seen Williams. No, he was asking for a lot of money, so I don't think Arsenal wants to pay 300,000 for a 22-year-old that has not played in the league. Rodrigo, I've seen Man City also running after him, and he could prefer that move. So, yeah, let's see with what. But we have an opportunity with. Sané, Leroy Sané coming in because his contract is expiring and is not renewing. So I think that has been one of those guys we are looking at.
Okay, Manchester United, because you might be playing the Champions League next season, and this is a good opportunity for you, good chance for you. You're going to play against, could say, one of the worst Tottenham sides that I've seen in a long time. Of course, as an Arsenal fan, that's a bias I have, but I've seen them compete at the highest level. They have gone up to the Champions League final, and here they are struggling in the 17th position in the Premier League, and of course, they are now going to face you in the finals of the Europa League. You have a very good chance to play in the Champions League. What are those areas you want to reinforce once the season begins in the summer?
So there are a lot of areas, but our most important thing to do as we go into the transfer season now is to try sell off a couple of players. I would sell off the entire team if I had.
You're selling off the entire team?
I would if I had.
Wow. Okay, give me five. Since it's an entire team. Give me five.
I'll refer back to Arsenal. When you look at when you look at Arsenal, the way they transitioned to get into a better place, the people they sold, they were actually their best players by then. You're looking at Aubameyang, you're looking at Ozil, you're looking at Pepe, Lacazette, all of them. They had to go because, see, as a coach, you need people who
believe in you.
Exactly, who are actually willing to try the things you're actually asking them to do. So when you look at this United today, when you look at Luke Shaw, you look at Harry Maguire, Onana, there are so many people that this guy didn't bring into the team. So getting into transition into something that he would want to play is going to be a little bit hard. I'll give you an example. Man City had to buy an entire team to get into to a better place. Yeah. Arsenal did the same thing. Liverpool, all those guys. You remember Jurgen Klopp buying everyone from Southampton. That's what every coach has done. So the problem.
This has also happened at Manchester United. We've seen every coach come in and bring a couple of players. We saw the Onanas come in.
I'll ask you one question.
Yes.
In United today, do we still have players who played under Ferguson?
No, of course, Ferguson is a long time. We are talking about history.
That's what I'm saying. So when you look at the players you have today, these are players who have gone through several coaches. You get it? So the style of play they came in with is a little bit different, and it has always changed from one coach to another. Because United
Do you believe in that, the fact that every time a coach comes in, you have transition with new players?
The biggest problem at United, we've failed to have an identity in the way we play. That's why every coach that comes in, when you look at Van Gaal, it was a completely different thing. When you look at Mourinho, it's a different thing. Everyone has come up with a different thing. It's not any different with Amorim.
Okay, for purposes of time, give me 5 names you're throwing out and 5 you want to bring.
I'll start with Højlund. Okay. Then Onana. I'll let go of Luke Shaw. I'll let go of. I'll give him another season because I think that's why he has signed another contract. I'll let go of Casemiro because I think it's about time, and I'll also let go of Mount. Okay. Yeah.
So my Manchester United fan tonight, for him, he believes he has to throw out more, and probably the market might not give him the players he wants immediately. But of course, that's the game of football. We meet tomorrow. We shall be having one more segment that we are going to have, and Peter is going to give us, he was on the streets earlier on. Over to you, Peter, and give us what you had on the streets today. Fans with mics, we meet tomorrow when Arsenal faces Newcastle for the battle of the 2nd or 3rd position. It's Fans with Mike, with me, Yusuf. Catch you tomorrow.
Neyanze omukisa ogumpereddwa Mwami Yusuf ng'olunaku lwa leero nyimiridde n'abaami babiri ku Fans to the Streets and ku lwa episode yaffe esooka Fans to the Mics and nyimiridde Karanda Frank omuwagizi wa Arsenal.
I want to send greetings to all Arsenal fans. Arsenal, oye! Arsenal, oye! We are keeping the dream alive.
Those are the Gunners, those are the Gunner men, and we are here with them right here. We are having also the Red Devils. No Mwami Savio Kavugo omuwagizi wa Manchester United. Ekibuuzo kyange kibadde oba ekibuuzo kyaffe kibadde kigenda nti nno tutunulidde kigenda ku bawagizi ba Arsenal, tutunulidde nti nno Manchester United agenda kusamba finals ne team ya Spurs. Ngate tumanyi nti no team ya Spurs si nyangu nnyo etuuka ku finals. Etegeera bulungi nnyo ekikopo kya Europa kati. Ekibuuzo kyaffe kigenda nti webucha ku macha Manchester United ne wangula ekikopo ekya Europa League. Arsenal kinajua mileage because tulaba nti no Arsenal yasamba semi-finals za Champions League neviiramu awo teyasobola kutuuka ku finals. Kati Manchester United wenatwala ekikopo automatically egenda kuba equalifying okusamba Champions League wa season ejja. Arsenal kinagirekawa because Arsenal ekoze nnyo etaddemu amaanyi mangi nga team sawa zino eri mu relegation. Ebadde lwanira relegation okubeera ng'eva mu relegation zone ng'etutte ekikopo kya Europa League. Manchester United Arsenal fans kinaabalekawa.
Ffe ng'aba Arsenal naffe ekiruubirirwa kyaffe kibadde kyakutwala ekikopo season eno. N'ekyomukisa omubi tetusobodde kutwala ekikopo n'ekimu. Naye nga ttiimu ey'ennono yaayo era tuli mu kuzimba tulabe nga season ejja tuteekayo embeera yonna tusobozesa okutwala ekikopo ekyo.
Kakati woyogera mu kutwala ekikopo ekya Champions League tubadde ne season 3 ez'omudiringanwa nga Arsenal tugamba nti no ezimba bye muzimba tubirabye kituufu musambye Champions League mwakuba Real Madrid home and away nga tumanyi nti no ba biggest rivalries ba Champions League ba Real Madrid ne mujja ne mugikuba. We mwagikuba kituufu twali tubasuubira okuba nti no mujja kusobola okuyitawo ku PSG naye kyagaana. Ekyo steeke eyo giwaako kinga gwe omwagizi wa Arsenal.
Nze ng'omwagizi wa Arsenal ate erudda ng'omusambi w'omupiira. Mu mupiira omuntu mugirira ebintu bisatu: you either win, you lose, oba you draw. Kati kyenjagala okugamba abawagizi nti babeere bagumu nti omupiira it's a process. gusigala gugetovola omupiira tu training olunaku lumu okutuuka bwa gyokola ki gyogenda kati enjagala okugamba abawagizi bonna basena bali eyo tibabeere bagumu tujja kwongera okuzimba ttiimu paka enatuuka ku kiruubirirwa kyayo.
Kakati ekibuuzo ekisembayo mwami, tulabye nti nno mu mid season yawo Arsenal yafunamu obuzibu bwa striker nga striker we Bukayo Avax yafuna obuvune n'abanga atali fit okusamba omupiira. Kati we yafuna obuvune ne tulaba nga omutendesi yaleeta omwami Merino takoze bubi okusinziira ku gundi gye tulabye okusinziira okuva ku mupiira gwa Chelsea nga asekiwalinga akabonero ne tulaba azenga yetaba mu golo za Arsenal ezisinga obungi. Kati awo wenjagala oyongera okukatiza ku kino ekyokuzimba nti no muzimba we muzimbulula oba muzimba nga mulaga nti no bye muzimba bira bangi bina gye binabatwala.
Tetuzimba kuzimbulula era kochi yonna agenda okuleeta omusambi nga maze omwekenneenya bulungi babbe ebintu bikola ki bigana bugayi ndeeta eri kochi aleeta musambi nti azambuleki amesemu feiringa naye ffe nga Arsenal abawagizi ba Arsenal tulina essuubi mu Mikel Arteta season ajja kwongera okutunulira mu bunafu wa kirabu bwe bubadde kuba kirabu ebadde esobodde oteekawo challenge okuba ku top clubs mu Europe teams nga Real Madrid. Ekyo njagala abantu bonna babeere bamativu nti kochi batusobodde okuteera embeera eyo nasobola tuwa n'ebisingawo ku ebyo ng'ebikopo mandi byerubiri ofuna season eno naye sikiwa katusabire abamani si mu bubi ffe Arsenal naye tubalazeeko embeera nti tusobola okusukka kwawe we balemereddwa okutuuka season eno.
We're back right now. I'm having two people, and Yusuf, I'm informing you, one of your Ghanaian supporters, your fellow supporters of Arsenal, is right here telling me that it has been a success for them, according to my analysis. Yes, it's been a success for them, but the Red Devils are saying no, it has not been a success to me. And of course, you have seen the Red Devils are going to play the finals of the Europa League, and for me, to my understanding, I think the Red Devils will go through. Way back, let me give a chance to Frank and to Savio Kabugo to have his personal analysis towards this matter.
Thank you so much. Ensonga jengenda kuja Arsenal muganda wange. Arsenal etimu esinzo okuta abantu mu Uganda. Bajaja afi bafide mu bitanda lwa Arsenal, lwa pressure. Etimu etuukawo neja nebuzabuza nemana ekola ki? Pega matetu wala ewabu suubi. Neto kola ki? So mbagamba nti United ya timu ya bikopo netugatwala ekikopo kino. Arsenal ebuzabuza tina kyekola. Mani tulwanire eno tubira mu 16 ne wali ku kikopo tournament ngezo. Tuliba tournament takers nkusubiza tugatwala ekikopo ekyo tugenda mu Champions League. Arsenal egenda kugula kikopo mpozi yagula wakatubwa ne United tugatwala ekikopo kya ddala. Viva United!